Anyway, you didn't tell me that we went live.
I
He pushed the button and then he runs into the kitchen, slides into there like Tom Cruise in his socks to turn on a light, and I'm like, what are you doing? So, welcome creatives to Kats Creations live on Friday here on the West Coast in perpetually sunny, the days never change, in California, where I'm going to teach you how to make another wreath on a budget. This time a candy cane wreath. So the candy cane wreath form comes from Dollar Tree. You should be able to find it in your Dollar Tree. I believe they're starting to put their Christmas stuff out now. So if not, they will be out shortly. There's generally not a super huge run on candy canes like it was with the 3D pumpkin frames. But you can order them online by the case, and they come $24 to a case. So it costs you about $24. And then if you can have it shipped to the store, there's no shipping. If you have it shipped to your home, it's somewhere in between $7 and $14. Just depends on how far they have to ship it to you. So we are making it all with 5.5-inch Deco Mesh, candy cane tube, and some ribbon. So that's really all you need, and some pipe cleaners and whatever you want to embellish it with. So before I get started, let's do a real quick sound check. How is my sound? How is the audio? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can see and hear everything okay. We should not have any buffering issues or any blurriness, kind of pixelated. If that happens, it's usually on your end because we're hooked directly into our Wi-Fi.
Our router, yeah.
Yeah, which is how we can kind of prevent that from happening. So,
it's usually on Facebook's end. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yep, everybody's giving thumbs up.
Okay, cool. So,
Gail, Lindy, Michelle, Faith, Barbara, Judy, Brenda, Teresa, Christy, Carrie, Gail, Audrey, Cheryl, Jean, Michelle, Patty, Cindy, and all the gals just joining. Welcome. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. And if you're new, let us know where you're from. We'd like to welcome you and try to get you pinned or hooked up to a community, a wreathing community near you. That's not always possible, but at least we try. So with the Dollar Tree wreath form, it has, I think, 7 sections is what I counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not all the same size. Obviously, as you go around the corner, the interior curve is going to require less pipe cleaners than the exterior one. So in all honesty, how I show you, you can wire it today. You can change that configuration as you're working with your Deco Mesh. If you feel that you need to add an extra piece, by all means, just add an extra pipe cleaner and then just kind of keep on going with your design. We're doing it all with the red and white, it looks like candy cane striped Deco Mesh. This came from Joann's. It was $6.99 with 40% off, brings this down to about $4. You will need just a touch. I think you said what, like 4 pieces in to the second roll. This is what we had left.
Yep.
If you choose to use Dollar Tree mesh, it comes in a 5-yard roll, not a what do you call it?
Not 30 feet.
Yeah, not 30 feet. So you get half. So the only thing you'll need if you're going to use the Dollar Tree Deco Mesh is you'll need about 15 yards or 3 rolls of the Dollar Tree Deco Mesh. So if you use that, it keeps your Deco Mesh right around the same price pretty much. But I like, when I do the candy canes, I like using the high metallic, lots of thick foil because it really picks up that light and really pops the colors. So you will need to cut your 5.5-inch Deco Mesh down into 15-inch pieces, and for my layout, it's 32, right?
Count
32 15-inch pieces, so you end up having a whole basket. And the way that I have my pipe cleaners laid out is on each end, so on the bottom end and the top end, you will need to take your pipe cleaner and tie to the 2 middle ones so that as you finish your candy cane, it kind of creates a half round and it'll cover the end of that. And then what you do is you go 2 to the middle, 2 to the outside, then go back to the middle. And remember how I told you this, the sections are all different sizes, so it doesn't necessarily like be the same. And then you do it the next section. So in section 2, you do the 2 outer ones, the 2 inner ones, and then you go back to the 2 outer. So it almost looks like the face of a 5-sided dice where you have a dot and then a middle and a dot and dot. Each section basically looks like that. So it's always 2 to the outside, 1 to the middle, 2 to the outside, 1 to the middle. And then that's even the same as we go into section 3, section 4, and then section 5 and 6, which is that corner. It's a little bit different. So you do the 2 on the outsides, 1 on the inside, and then you need to add an extra one because you have a larger area to cover going around the outer than you do on the inner. So it's basically, like I said, 2 to the outers, 1 in the middle, 2 to the outer, and then I don't need anything in the middle. I just needed to add an extra one to the outside. And then as I got closer to the middle part of my frame, I did the, the 2 inner, the 2 middles. And then back to the outside, to the middle, back to the outside, to the middle. And then on the final section, it's 2 to the outside, 1 to the middle, 2 to the outside, 1 in the middle to finish that.
Barbara asked if you can hold it up.
Yeah. So it almost is easier to hold up maybe this way.
Right.
So it looks like 5-sided dice. So here there's only 4. So the 1 in the middle, 2 to the outside, 1 in the middle, then it goes back to 2 on the outside, 1 in the middle, 2 to the outside, 1 in the middle, 2 to the outside, 1 in the middle, 2 to the outside. And then, like I said, as you get up to these corners, it's a little different because you've got to put more to the outside than you do on the inside.
Right.
Because you've got to cover this and not so much now on the inside.
So just alternate middle to the end, middle to the end, middle to the end.
That's the best way to do it. Yeah. And then down here in the last final section, there's 6. We could have done it with 5, but remember what I was telling you is that on the very end of your candy cane, you have to have those 2 middle ones so that as you're doing your ruffle, you're going to have like that half of a bow tie. When you go to put it in there, you're going to get that bottom ruffle to cover the side, and you'll see it when we start. So I know it seems crazy, but that's usually the best way to do it, is just alternate. It's almost like we're doing it on, what do you call it, 14-inch Dollar Tree frame, except we're doing, I'm trying to think how you do it. We only have 2, right?
What?
When we're doing the Dollar Tree, yeah, we only have the 2 to the inner, and then we do 2 to the outer. These ones we're doing the 2 to the middle.
Right.
So we're just alternating.
2 on the outer and then 1 in the middle.
Yep.
2
and
on
then
the outer, yeah.
The easiest way to do it is start with your ends and then go 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And you're trying to space them out, and it's about maybe every 3 or 4 inches. And then you should have a full enough wreath by the time you're done. Any questions you guys have on how to lay this out? I actually built one before we did the live to make sure that we had enough coverage using that 5.5-inch mesh, because you don't want to see the frame.
And that 5.5-inch mesh is from Joann's or Michael's?
Joann's, yeah. And it's $6.99, so it's 40% off. Although if you can get there tomorrow, you can still use the extra 20% off coupon. So you get 40 plus 20. It's not 60.
Yep.
It's.
Yep. And that is a Dollar Tree frame, Sheila, for $1. And yes, you're right. The Dollar Tree 5.5-inch Deco Mesh is not as nice.
It's not.
It's pretty cheap, so you have to make sure it's thick. But
if you can try to get the Deco Mesh that has the foil in it, that would be better. And it wouldn't hurt to pick up that 4th roll just to make sure, because you can always come back in and thicken it up. And that's why I'm using 15-inch pieces. I needed each little bundle that I made to cover the entire frame so that it wouldn't be transparent, see through it. Any other questions?
Faith, she just she just decided where to place her red and white. She just, same thing, she just kind of alternated.
Oh, you gotta get down, bud. You already got cookies, like
Yeah,
way too many. So yeah, I was sitting here kind of doing one, and I just used just random red and white pipe cleaners. I could have taken the white off and did all red, but at least you can kind of see the pattern up to about here. It's just the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then, like I said, if you want, this is what I did because I didn't know what the layout was. I just cut one piece of 15-inch mesh, started with one, and I was like, okay, cut another 2. Let's see where those need to be on the frame in order to provide even coverage. And you don't want to go, I would really refrain from going 10-inch on the candy cane form. Otherwise your candy cane looks like the sugar cookies. Like when you do your sugar cookie and it's very thin, it looks really nice, and then you put it in the oven and it's big old puffy. That's what the 10-inch mesh will do to this. It'll make it super full and fluffy, and you'll miss that.
You'll miss the form.
Yeah, the arch in the middle. You won't be able to see it. It's just like, it looks like it's all puffed together.
You have a Legian MLS, which she said is, good evening, it's Gina from Arkansas. Been watching your videos, but it's your first live.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Welcome. She said, already said she's from Arkansas. What city, Gina?
So, yeah, one of the, I think we have a couple people that live down there.
And then Antoinette said, Kat, did you see the new mesh from Dollar Tree? It's like a hard tulle, blue or green with something on the mesh.
I think I have. Those you might want to be cautious with, because doing anything that has like a tulle base to it, it's not going to provide a good enough coverage. You're going to be able to see right through that. Like if we did tulle over the whole thing, you'd be able to see the frame through the other side.
Yep.
Any other questions before I start?
And then you got Susan says, hi, new to you from Piggott, Arizona, Arkansas. So I think
maybe
that
you
Gina
guys
was
are
also
close
Arkansas.
enough.
Yeah, maybe you gals are close to each other.
Yeah.
Mary said, been waiting, just tuned in. Going to be special, I can tell.
And this is super simple. Like I said, if you can get the pattern set up, then you can start doing some crazy stuff like mixing your colors like red and green or red, white, and green. It just becomes really hard when you don't have the pattern and the layout of the wreath form figured out. You can kind of get like, you can't really do like a solid red, then a solid white, then a solid red, then a solid white. It doesn't come out that way, because when you're doing your ruffles, it's just, they don't lay in the right way that you would want for a candy cane. That was the word I was trying to think of. So we're just choosing this. So we're just gonna ruffle all of these 15-inch pieces, and we're just gonna place them right in the middle, face down, onto our pipe cleaners. So I'm gonna start with the bottom one, and I did it the same way that I generally do all of the Dollar Tree frames. So this is what I was saying. Here's your finished edge, and that creates that really super good coverage on the bottom, and it's gonna wind up the same here. So that's why you need to start with the middle one there. And we're just gonna ruffle.
Yeah, there's quite a few gals from Arkansas on here, so maybe all you gals can
form your own wreath community.
Form your own group and meet up at a store and have fun.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
I would love to do that. So, and I'm going to be doing this while I'm creating this. I'm just going to twist them 5 times, and this is what I do to finish it. I will cut one side completely down to the base of my pipe cleaner, kind of push it down, and then I leave about 1 inch, and then those will go for my embellishments. So it just kind of gets them out of the way too, so that it just saves time. So I don't have to go back and do that. So we trim one, leave 1 inch, and then we chuck the rest. And we're just gonna keep on going.
Each piece is cut to 15 inches. There's a total of 32 of them. So
Yep.
if you get this 5.5 inch mesh from Joann's, you'll need to buy 2 rolls. That's really all you need.
Yeah, and if you get, what, like 3 rolls, you'll have enough to do 2 complete
Yep.
Candy canes.
Even if you want to alternate colors like red and white or red and green, you still only need 2 rolls.
Yes. But if you want another one to have, you know, enough to do 2 full wreaths, you're going to need that much left.
Hey Tina, you're out there by Lindy. She said, hey Tina, I'm joining you from Palm Desert.
Yeah.
Just for once instead from UK. Palm Desert, wow.
Yeah, she's out there with...
Yeah, Lindy's out there in Palm Springs.
Yep.
Yep.
So I just twist it 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take 1 down. And then leave an inch.
Genevieve asked, have you made one of the new wire witch hat wreaths from Dollar Tree, the larger one?
I have not. We are doing that on Sunday in the private group. So I think I have a couple things figured out. That's what I'll be doing pretty much tomorrow and most of Sunday is figuring that out.
Karen, if you're making just 1 candy cane, you really only need 2 rolls. If you're going to make 2 candy canes, then 4 rolls of whatever color
3.
you want. If she's using Joann's, she only needs 2 rolls.
Correct, but
Yeah.
if she was going to do 2 wreaths, you need 3 rolls.
I told her, or if
Because
she's
you
using different
have-
colors.
Yeah, if you are.
Right.
Most definitely. So remember, we leave 1 long, cut 1 short.
Hi, Lindy.
And then that way it just preps us for the little styrofoam balls we'll come back on and add later. Hobby Lobby does have one that they call the styrofoam balls that are like crushed peppermint, but they're more pink than they are red. I tried those last year. I didn't really like the way that it looked. So I'm sticking with red and white.
She's using both red and white pipe cleaners. She'll show you at the end. She's going to do some fun embellishments on there. And she doesn't need every single end of a pipe cleaner, so she's just using 1 in each.
You can leave both if you'd rather go double, but that's an awful lot of pipe cleaners to leave. So you figure with 32 on here, I'm going to have 32 placements for the embellishment, and that's more than enough considering you're going to put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Because you want to put a bow on it. It looks super cute. So I'm just trying to keep...
Brenda said, this is hard watching all this fun crafting and not being able to make anything.
Aww. But you'll have all that creative energy to just pour forth when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
So down 1, leave an inch. And then we're working to the outside. So I think we're already into... We're into section 3. To show you how quick it goes. And right now it's covering everything. And the interesting thing about this Deco Mesh is one side is red and the other side's white. So it just depends on how you lay them in there, is how it will look.
Antoinette asked, am I the only one in New Mexico? I want a crafting buddy.
I think there's somebody else out there in New Mexico. I almost want to say there is.
Oh, Vilya said, I'm in New Mexico.
There
of course,
you go.
It is a pretty big state, so maybe they're close enough to each other.
Let's pray that they are, right?
Yeah.
You need a crafting buddy. Always.
Katie, the Deco Mesh is cut to 15 inches, every single piece, and there's 32 pieces.
Yep. And it's super easy just to get this going. So this shouldn't take us hardly any time at all. And you see that all I'm doing really is going to the outside, then I'll come back and do 1 to the inside. 2, 3.
Dee, I hope you're feeling okay. She said, hi, Kat and Steve, watching you from my hospital room. White blood count through the roof.
Oh no.
Praying for you.
Hopefully it's just a simple infection that they can treat with antibiotics. Definitely be praying.
Libby, no, 10 inches. We've done 10 inch before last year, and it's way too long.
Thin.
It's way too tall.
Yeah,
you
using
lose,
10 inch Deco Mesh?
Yeah, using 10 inch. You lose the whole shape of the candy cane.
Yeah, you look like a puffy cookie is what I attribute it to, because I've done that. Every time I go to make my Christmas cookies, and I try to get that perfect arch so that people can know it's a candy cane, it looks like a puffy
Yvonne, yes, she did wood burn all the mesh.
Yes.
Yep.
So it just makes it much easier. I've already done, what, this is my third candy cane today? Yes, this makes 3.
Yeah.
That I've, not all the same. I did, I'll show you the ones I did earlier today. Just playing with the techniques.
Yep.
These are super fun to take to craft shows too.
Yep. Linda asked, what is the exact name of the styrofoam balls from Hobby Lobby? They're called scatters and fillers.
No.
Some are called vase fillers.
Yeah, scatters and fillers was only the Thanksgiving
the fall,
one.
Yeah.
So these ones, because I just pulled the label out of the bag, it's called bowl fillers.
Vase or bowl fillers?
Vase and bowl fillers, yeah. Is exactly what they called it.
Yep.
So I'm trying to keep my little pipe cleaners up so it makes it much easier for me to find them rather than trying to dig.
And Sharon asked, are you attaching your ruffle straight across or up and down? Straight across. So the edges are actually
in the middle.
In the middle.
Yeah. I try to put the edges or wherever I'm going to put it. So if I'm doing it to the outside, like this one's to the outside, I'll take the edges and put the edges to the outside.
Right. So the good edges are to the outside and the cut edges are on the inside.
3, 4, 5. When I do the one in the middle, it doesn't really matter, so I just kind of do those ones more up and down. So there's my thing. So we're getting close to going around the horn. That's what I call it, going around the horn. So this one is to the middle. So I'm just going up and down with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll leave an inch. And then usually I just twist the little end if it's still there. So I've got one to the outside. I got it worked on here. And it should, if there's 2 in there, maybe that means your count's like 33. Because there's 2 in one.
Oh no, I put a couple inside so just to save some space.
Oh, okay. So now I'm back to the outside. So I turn the edges to the outside.
Angela, there's a total of 32 ties.
4, 5. Down. There we go. There's my inch. Move it to the outside so I can find that.
Pam, yeah, you probably could cut the pipe cleaners in half and use them that way.
You probably could.
Yep.
There probably will be just enough. Although it's weird, when I did the loop one, I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough to put anything on the embellishment.
No.
Because you're trying to cover the two rails and not one. So it uses up quite a bit of the pipe cleaner. Okay, so we're going to the outside. So I'm just stuffing that to the outside.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5. Cutting. And there we go. Making sure all those pieces are there. So now I'm to the middle. Oops, I forgot.
Bonnie, it's 5.5 inch Deco Mesh cut to 15 inches.
So these are that question. I've gotten asked this question a long time. Do you ever use 5.5 inch Deco Mesh? Yeah, when I'm doing smaller frames. Like if you're going to do something like the star for patriotic, it's much easier to do the 5.5 inch Deco Mesh because it looks nicer, fills it fuller, and stays more true to the frame than using a larger Deco Mesh.
Oh my gosh, Terry, we're totally praying for you.
What?
She says, I'll be in the hospital on Monday for surgery to remove a surgical sponge that was left in there 32 years ago.
What? How is that even?
Wow, Terry, that's amazing. That's
is this
crazy.
The Terry that's in the hospital white blood count, or is this somebody totally different?
No, totally different.
What the heck?
I know.
I mean, are they really in that much of a hurry? I heard that they're supposed to
Well,
do
32
sponge.
years ago, they had, you know.
But I always thought that they had to count the number of sponges.
They were supposed to.
So there was double check. Like,
know.
let's do a count.
Yeah, Gina's like, holy cow, that's not good.
No, it's really not. because your body is trying to fight off a foreign body that's not supposed to be there.
Yep.
So, as you can see, it's staying pretty narrow, and that's exactly what you want it to do. You don't want it to get overly fluffy. You want it to stay close to the form.
Right.
You can tell these are the ones closer to the...
Yeah, and you also use the Deco Mesh tubing on the other one.
Yeah, I'll bring them all down so they can see. Yep, I played with a whole bunch of different varieties. Because I had someone say, oh, you could use the flex tubing like what we did for the fall wreath and use a lot less. And so I was like, well, I ended up just buying enough tubing anyway for other designs. You use all 12 rolls, just like we did in the fall one, if you want it full enough.
Looks like there's a couple gals in New Mexico. They're going to message each other, so hopefully they'll be able to
awesome.
meet up.
That is so incredible.
Margie said, Kat, when you're done, can you please go over the pipe cleaner placement? I came in a bit later.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe, yeah, probably the best when you're done, you can turn it around.
And maybe show it, yeah. It might look better that way. It's just super simple because this has 4 rails on it. You're always gonna start on your ends with the 2 in the middle, like we did on the loop wreaths.
Right.
And then you're going to move on to 2 on the outside, directly across from each other, and then go to the middle. And you're just going to keep doing that about every 3 inches.
Thank you, Mary. Forgot about that. Thank you for sharing. So all of you, please like and share.
Oh yeah.
It'd be greatly appreciated.
Makes it much easier to find when you guys are ready to make yours. And this should keep our candy cane pretty well intact as it goes around. Keep forgetting, because I'm so used to wanting to trim off both or keep them both short. So we'll finish this up as quick as we can so we can start to the embellishing part. So I'm to the outside now, so I'm going to take my Deco Mesh and move it so it's now facing, what do you call it, horizontally, sorry, across the frame.
Right. Hey, Gary said I will have to watch the replay, see beginning, no problem.
Should be super simple.
Even Facebook just kicked me out, so I had to go back in.
Really?
Good old Facebook.
Love it.
And of course, now that I did that, I can't see the top of the other comments.
You might have to go back again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just make sure that one's twisted all the way. So now we're going back to, here's my white one. So it's on the inside, so I'm going to take and keep my Deco Mesh edges here. 3, 4.
Marilyn said hello from Nebraska. Glad I could watch tonight. I learned so much from watching these. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm hoping that this is going to be a really good, this, number one, the technique is super easy. The cost side of this is super easy. So this is a really good beginner wreath to try because it's just so small and you're just doing the same technique. So you're just pulling all of your mesh towards you. So I'm trying to...
Yvonne asked, who else sells this Christmas mesh this size?
You might be able to get it through Craft Outlet, Trendy Tree, Deco Exchange. I'm not really sure.
Yep.
Usually when I'm going with the 5.5 inch mesh, I usually just pick it up at my local craft stores.
Joann's definitely.
Hobby Lobby usually has it.
Yep.
That one might be a little long, but...
Bobby Carlson said, thanks so much for the sign maker you told us about. She is amazing.
Which one?
That's 3 Birds Nest, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and surprisingly, when we did the... What did we do yesterday? The mystery box unboxing.
Yeah.
Temporarily, she has sold out of the winter and Christmas ones. So that was a good thing. And she will be getting more back in. She's just got to fill those orders first and then see what she needs to order.
Antoinette said, Kat, my witch's hats have been selling out.
That's
awesome.
good. Have you noticed that most of them are selling based on traditional Halloween colors? That's kind of what I noticed, is more people wanted their traditional. Same thing with the candy canes. You'll notice that don't try to do some crazy color, because they generally won't sell as well as if you stick to traditional red, and white, or red, white, and green. Think of what other ones we made. We didn't really mix up the colors on the candy cane. We did green and white. We did because that looked more like a spearmint one. So I've got one right here.
Judy said, went to flea market, bought 4 green heavy gauge wired candy cane frames, 24-inch end to curve, 3 inches wide, $4 each. Was that a good deal?
I think so.
Yeah, I would say so, because that's definitely not a Dollar Tree candy cane form, because the Dollar Tree ones I think are what, 19 end to end, from end to end to candy cane. I think they're 19-inch long, without the Deco Mesh on it.
Let's see. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're 19.
Right.
So yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
They'll just finish them off, and I think this finished product will be what?
It's 24.
24 inches long, 15 inches wide, 6 inches deep.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind smushing the Deco Mesh between a storm door, you're good. Because as long as it doesn't stay that way for a long time, just a little bit of heat and then working with it will bring it back.
Yep. The price point for this, I think you said, is going to be 53?
53.
53. And that includes shipping, so
it does.
it's going to be about 33. Probably about $20 to ship.
I cut this one off because I was talking to you.
With shipping, it's going to be about $20 to ship. Even if you factor 25, right, then it's about
It has to go in a 24-inch box.
I know.
So it's a 24 by 24, irregardless, because I can't get this down any smaller. It's got to go in that size box. Sadly. I did find a cheaper place to purchase boxes from. It seems like Papermate, for us, has cheaper boxes.
Yep.
So it's bringing the price from $5 something a box down to like $3.80. I just have to double check the quality though. So as soon as I blow through the ones I have, I will let you know, because we'll place an order for those. So we're just finishing up the last, I think there's like 5 more pieces. So I'm going to the middle one. Right here.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Peggy said you can get the bigger candy cane frames at AC Moore for $4.99. So yeah.
Hey, we don't have that.
That's awesome, gals. There's a lot of gals that are saying they've been selling out a lot of the witch hats. Yeah.
That they really do good during Halloween.
Yeah.
But are you guys finding traditional black and orange works better than, say, I don't know, purple and green?
Well, Vilia said she's sold 5 already with the legs and hats.
Okay.
And then Jane said I've sold more witch hats in fall colors than in Halloween colors.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Yes. I haven't even made them in fall colors yet. I just feel like I'm kind of behind.
Connie said I ordered the Christmas mystery box from Three Birds Nest last night. Can't wait to receive it.
I know. And it's interesting because she said that right now, for obvious reasons, nobody's purchased into like Valentine's Day. She has patriotic, she has spring, she has summer. I want to say there's a St. Patrick's Day one, which I might purchase just to see what's in that one. St. Patrick's Day is usually a pretty dry holiday. I think I only sell like 1 wreath, but it's to my own detriment. I only make like 2. They're just not overly big sellers. So I find that if I make them more Irish themed, they do better. Okay, I'm still trying to find, here's all my, so 2 more. So you're right, you have 2 extra ones in here.
That's okay.
So one of them did sit inside.
Yeah.
So we're finishing it off. So this one's to the outside, right here. And then we're finishing off our end piece. And I'll show what it looks like. So, trim one, trim an inch down. So I'm not really throwing a ton away. So,
sorry about that, Evie.
the end. What?
Tell them spell correct. Evie was replying to Sushan where you got the mesh at Joann's. And all I tried to do was spell thank you, Evie. And it spelled thank you, evil.
Oh, wow.
It's stupid spell correct.
4.
But I corrected it. Well, you can't correct it once you do it, but I
deleted it.
I redid it, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's our last one that finishes off that frame. So this is what it looks like. There's a small little separation in here. Not a whole lot, but if you did 10-inch mesh, it just fills the whole center. And then the outside's like way out here. The whole way around, it's like this giant poofy candy cane. And so now, before I start embellishing, do you guys have any questions on the whole process? It goes fairly simple once you scrunch and stuff.
Yeah. No problem. Now, there's gals just talking amongst themselves.
Okay.
Interesting question, though.
What?
Where's it at? Brenda Morris asked, how many Christmas wreaths do you usually make each year?
A lot. I really do. I will make a ton of Santa hats,
Probably.
a ton of elf hats, a ton of candy canes, because that's the big holiday. And it was funny, I was listening to something the other day, it might have been last week, where someone says, you know, do you really think that the wreath industry is oversaturated? You have to understand that you have like, I forget what the population is in America right now, 4 billion, and we're talking about 4 billion doors. So there's only a handful of people making wreaths, and I mean, I think that hit 800 sales, a little over 800 sales, but that's over 2 years' time. So we are just barely denting stuff. People give them away as gifts. They add these to their home decor. We add them to our home decor, like these and the hats, the pumpkins, the angels, all that stuff. It doesn't really become door decor, but more home decor. So,
you know, for Christmas, I mean, 40 wreaths, 50 between candy canes and wreaths and all other stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe around there.
Somewhere 30 to 40, maybe.
Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little scatters and fillers. I just pulled all the red and white ones out because we're sticking to red and white. And I'm not going to be overly particular, like, does the white have to go on the red? Because remember, I just kind of put these all out there random. So I'm just going to kind of toggle back and forth. And these will, after we finish our live, I'll go back in and actually glue these on. So once you make the hole, you would take it off. You take your glue gun, set on low, and you put a very small little bead over the hole, and then you just push them back on, and that's all you have to do to glue your balls on.
Sorry, Sue. Yeah, that is a Dollar Tree candy cane form.
Yes, it is.
Patricia, yep.
So I'm just kind of randomly picking. This just becomes personal preference, whatever you like. Like I wanted a small one. I try to get them to where they have a couple of different sizes, because then I can go big or do small. There should be another one over here.
Suzanne, the fillers, no, they're glitter, and they have different types of ones at Hobby Lobby. So there is like a party section, and when you walk through the party section of Hobby Lobby, they have all different types of colors. They have red, they have gold, they have blue, green, purple, you name it. And then they have different ones for fall that are coming like a tan, a brown, and a green.
Yeah, see, like these ones have, they're like a little...
like a disco ball.
Yeah, and then these ones are just covered in glitter.
Right.
These ones are a little harder to put on.
Those have like little sequins in them.
Yeah, all over them. So, the white are the same way. Because I think I got red and white at Valentine's Day. So I'm just looking at sizes.
Suzanne, they're just little styrofoam balls that have glitter or sequins on them.
Yeah, if I pick up here, can you hold these up so they can see? Because you know where you can focus.
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for it to
zoom in, focus.
Zoom in.
And I'm just trying to find a handful, just so that we have them randomly all over.
Hobby Lobby is where you can get them all. That's where we found pretty much all of them.
I get them every season, so like the patriotic ones that come red, white, and blue, I'll just pull out whatever color I need. Like the blue I'll probably use on a snowman. The red and white, save these for Valentine's Day. So just kind of always be thinking when you find stuff and you're like, oh, I don't really need that right now. Might not need it right now, but in a month or so, you're like, darn it, I wish I really would have got that. So we're just going around the ones on the outside, just swapping them. They just make good little accent pieces. And here's another one. So we'll go small one. And then a white one. And do a white big one. And red. These are perfect things you can give your kids something to do if they want to help. You're like, hey, take all those little balls and stick them all on the wreath for me. I know there's one right here. So I'm just trying to find my little, this is why I was trying to keep them just a touch longer. They make them easier to find. Yeah, we're almost done with our little embellishment. Put a sparkly one on the end and just make sure. Nope, we're good. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Yeah, with all the little sparkly balls on them. I didn't really use that much. I mean, I used 32 little styrofoam balls. So like Steve says, if you flip it over and you look, it's a little easier to look at the pattern up here because I just use solid red. So, babe,
yep.
You will always start with the single.
Yep.
So when you're doing your pattern, you start with the two middle, go two to the outside, one to the middle, two to the outside. And then this is different because as you go around the inside, you're going to have less. But even down here, it's the same thing. To the middle, to the outside. To the middle, to the outside.
Right.
This one actually should be down
You
here.
have some smaller sections in around where the curve is, so you'll have to fill in a little bit more.
Yeah. And like I said, you can pick. This might have been a lot for you to pad it, but I just used the one that I did earlier to get the layout for here. And then that's what it makes for this. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna add a bow to it and it's done. So the ribbon that I have picked is this little candy cane. This came from Craft Outlet. The candy cane stripe, you can virtually find this anywhere. This came from Paper Mart, but you can get it at Hobby Lobby, Craft Outlet, Trendy Tree, Wreath, Deco Exchange, Joann's, Michael's. And then this, the Merry Christmas, came from Joann's this year. So this is in Joann's Christmas collection this year. It's called Handmade Holiday. Yep. So we are just going to make a super simple bow. And I already know this because I've already made 3. The tails have to be 7 inches. Otherwise, they're going to be way too overwhelming for the wreath.
And for the gals who asked about how do you do the wood burning, you know, Kat has a video on YouTube on that.
There's a couple
out there. They're super easy though, but you do need a glass cutting mat. You can get those from Walmart for about $7.
If you want to bring that stuff out here and you can plug it in, I'll show you how to do, I'll do one really quick. So 7-inch tails, and they're going to be 4-inch loops. throughout the entire thing. So if you're using the bow dabber, it's the twist. So we start right side fabric up, wrong side fabric then becomes our loop, and then we will twist and just double check that this is a little more than what I wanted. There's my 4-inch loop. And once I get my loop size done, then it's so much easier to do this. Is that right? Yes. And then 7-inch tail. So this should end at 12. And then we'll do our dovetail cut on our ribbon. Thanks, babe. You can go ahead and unplug the glue gun for now. I'll just plug that in later. Can't unplug the coffee maker. Never know when you need coffee. So dovetail is going to be wired edges. You're going to bring those two together. Thanks, Boba. From the outside where it's folded, you're going to go right to that point. Ooh, let me. There we go. Trying to get the edge of that one. I'm kind of picky on my points. So there's that. Now we're going to do the candy stripe. Same thing, 7-inch loop or 7-inch tail. So I'm just going to kind of crinkle that so I know where 7 inches is. Dovetail cut again.
So using the bow maker, it's called the Bow Dabra. You can get it online at Joann's, Michael's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Amazon.
Use your 40% off coupon.
Yep, it's about 15 bucks. So if you use a coupon, you can get it for about $8 or $9.
So, and then we're always just doing a loop. Twist, put your fingers in there, and then you can kind of pull this way. And then you're just going to flip it around. Do another twist, push it down, put your fingers in it and kind of pull. And then once again, we're going to measure off 7 inches. We'll trim
That's
that.
awesome, Yvonne. She said you got a tempered glass cutting board at Goodwill for $2. That's awesome.
Yeah, you don't, it's like I said, it's just a glass cutting board is what it really is. Because some people get really particular on the tempered glass. All it is it's the same stuff.
Yep.
That it just shatters into small little non-breakable pieces like auto glass.
Yep.
Not shards.
Marilyn, yes, on the candy cane wreath, she does keep her ribbon at 1.5 inches. That's it.
Yeah, it's too big to do a 2.5 inch on that. So this one's different because I'm really particular that I want my Merry Christmas to all be right side up. So what you'll see me do here is just this little funky tip, which is, okay, this is the way it's facing. So if I do this, watch, if I push this in and then I do my flip, look, my ribbon's already upside down. So the word's already upside down. So what I do is I just pinch it. There's my 4-inch loop. Let me just make sure. 4 inches. And it just really, I'm just twisting it, making it worse. There we go. So that's gonna bring this back over to the front.
Gina, yeah, you could use a glass shelf out of a fridge if you have a spare one.
You can use the bottom of a cookie sheet.
Glass cookie sheet, yes.
And right here.
It's plugged in too, so be careful.
I will. So what I did is I just hand did my bow and just kept twisting, like, let's see if I can show you how I did this. So here's right side up, so I pinched it. I didn't do the whole twist, because if I do, then it makes my my loops upside down. So pinched it again. So this is my tail. Then I brought it back up here, back to the center, and then here's my tail again. So I'm just going to take this whole thing, stuff it in the bow dabra so I can trim my edge. And that's how I kept my Merry Christmas all going the same way without cutting into it. I'll just make sure my bows are all the same length, which it is, and it is, and we're good. And then I can put my pipe cleaner on it and just secure this, because it's like welcome to Christmas, right? Welcome to our festive glitter-filled holidays, because glitter, not well, glitter. So, and then I noticed even before I went live, I'm like, I had glitter all over my face from earlier. So I was like, oh, that'll be fun.
Linda Brooke said, every time your cat meows, I get up to check on my kitten.
Okay, so you could do this either with the white and red pipe cleaner. It's entirely up to you. I have these left over from a couple years ago. They're just the red and white ones. I think these come from Hobby Lobby. But there's only 14 in here. But I figured, you know what? This would be super cute to finish those up. So I'm gonna just grab these whole things, pull this through, keeping the candy cane theme going. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Patty said, I knew that. I always have upside down words. So yeah, now you know how to fix it.
Yeah, just keep the words going, and then just, if you have to, don't worry about doing that whole twist. Just keep your, like, pinch it, so that when you go to put your pipe cleaner in, everything is now facing the same direction. So generally on our candy canes, the bows look pretty good if you don't bring them lower to the edge of the candy cane, but bring them up just a little bit. And because this is just 5.5-inch Deco Mesh, and we know that there's not much in there.
And you gals are on it. Thank you, Kathleen. There's gals questioning, where did you get the frame from? And Kathleen Datilla's already out. Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Can you grab one of the ones that are plain, that are just sitting on my tubs, so they can see what it looks like? I'm just trying to fight going through the Deco Mesh, because it wants to separate.
And you can order these by the case online.
Yes, you can.
24 in a case, so it's 24 bucks.
Okay.
Kathleen, as long as you get a wood burning tool that has like an adjustable little dial on it, and I think Kat keeps hers at about 400 degrees.
Well, I do. Steve had it up to 425.
Oh, well, I just might have hit it by accident.
Yeah. So I just popped that through. So I'm just sitting here twisting my pipe cleaners. We'll cut those off in a second. And now you're just gonna fluff your bow. So obviously I want the Merry Christmas writing to kind of be in the front. So I'm gonna grab each of my tails.
Carolyn said, my husband found glitter in his pimento cheese sandwich. Leah said, oh my God, I went to church with glitter on my face.
That, yeah, you can just say, well, it's sparkling. Sparkling.
Yeah.
I think that's just, and because I'm doing candy cane loop at the bottom and the stripe on top, I'm going to go opposite for those on the opposite side. And then the Merry Christmas will kind of fan in the middle. So I'm trying to get it unsnagged. And then, of course, this is how we just really coat our hands with extra glitter, as if we don't have enough glitter on it at all. But this is how you put those little curves back into your ribbon.
Patty says, I put the little bells in our candy canes too. You can put little bells in it.
You can put all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
What is it? Hobby Lobby has like the little picks that show like little wrapped candies. You could stick one of those in there.
Yep.
It's entirely up to you.
Kathleen, she doesn't always cut her mesh with the wood burning tool, but anything that's just a regular plastic Deco Mesh, yes, she does. There's a type of Deco Mesh that's jute.
Natural fibers.
The natural fibers. You can't really cut it with the wood burning tool because all it does is just burn the natural fiber.
Doesn't that look pretty? Super simple. So let me show you what this looks like on the doors. I'm gonna take this one down.
You can either do it with little signs on it under the bow.
Yeah, I mean, let me put this up so you can see what it looks like. And I don't put a hanger on it because the frame is just fine. So customers can decide if they want it. I'm trying to think of how. There's a way you can do it where you can kind of get it at an angle. So there's that. And then I brought two. I'm always looking for super small signs. So depending upon what you do, this is like a little postcard. I got a bunch of these at Shinoda. I'm really disappointed I didn't get more. Because this would be super cute. If you did it in like the peppermint colors, red, white, and green, then you can just kind of tag that off. Look, it's even a little postcard.
Yeah.
So you can address it to whoever the recipient is.
But it's metal like, too, right? So yeah.
Huh?
It's a little metal sign or is it wood?
No, it's a wood sign.
Wood, okay. And
then Hobby Lobby sells these ones. So they're just like little Merry Christmas signs. So if you wanted to do something more primitive, I'm thinking Craft Outlet sells like a jute with a red and green foil. That would be really pretty if you wanted to go more primitive looking. And then you can just add your Merry Christmas sign to that as well. So it just depends on how much more you want to add to them. But I find if you just keep them really super simple, these are great for office cubicles, like the witch hats, hospice rooms, because you can't really have anything living, sadly, right? Door pillars, anywhere you've got this small a small space where you can't really get a full-size wreath in, these are perfect for that. Yep. So small spaces, apartment doors, storm doors where it's a little thinner. But see, here's the candy cane wreath form from Dollar Tree. So believe it or not, that's what that is. So it's exactly like that. And we just added the 5.5 inch Deco Mesh all the way around. So let me show you here's one that's red and green. So this one's same thing, high foil, red and green Deco Mesh, and I did it with the color changing ribbon. So it depends on which way you're looking at it. It's either red or it's green. And it really is red or green. It's not like some people see red, some people see green. It just depends on what you do. So same thing, 5.5 inch Deco Mesh, just done the exact same way. Exactly the same way. Yep. And then Terry, that's good to know. Terry said Affordable Wreath Signs has mini signs. That's good. God, I know. We need those. And then this is what I did with the loops. The Deco Mesh tubing. The Deco Mesh tubing. So this I just did with the silver and red, and it takes 12 packages. So don't be, don't go thin. There's a couple people out there who do them just like, because this is 2 colors, they think that the way that I taught you to do it, like, okay, if I'm only using silver and red, you're just going to go silver and red, you make your loop, you make your loop, you make your other loop and your tails. No, you want to have 2 sets of silver, 1 red, and make half as many bundles of that. I think this is probably 32 bundles, so you'll need 16 bundles of 2 silver, 1 red, and then you'll need another set of 2 red, 1 silver, and you alternate them. Because what you'll end up seeing is people whose loops don't have enough life, it's very thin, it's very sparse, so you need to do 3 or 4 colors in with your loop tubing if that's what you choose to do. And I did the same thing. I just left them long, added a bow, and that's the end of that. Cheryl, yeah, she said I found some ornaments that were perfect for small signs in Hobby Lobby last week. You could also use the tiny little ornaments on that. That would be great. Absolutely. Beverly said hi, first timer from Ontario, Canada. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Beverly. Thanks for joining. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do really quickly how to cut your Deco Mesh with a wood burning tool. So I know it's hard for you to see, but believe it or not, the end of a Deco Mesh, or not, the end of the wood burning tool looks like a knife. So you kind of hold it down on the light gray and you can see it. Yeah. Not really. It's kind of difficult to see. It's got a chiseled point to it. So it's longer on one side, shorter than the other. It kind of comes to a point. So it literally looks like the edge of a knife, like a steak knife.
Right.
So if you were to hold it straight up, you've got a seam that goes right down the middle, longer on top, shorter on the bottom. And that's the pinpoint. That's the tip you want to use. My Deco Mesh tools comes with a whole bunch of other tips. I've had this for over a year now and it's still going strong. So like Steve says, you want to make sure it has a temperature gauge that goes to at least 450 degrees because that's what you'll need. You cannot cut Deco Mesh that has the cotton fibers in it, the jute fibers, because it will sit there and smoke, and that's not good for your health. Not that, I mean, we can open that door. Normally I don't even do it, but this is, I'm just gonna set that on my tile. This is the tempered glass cutting board. So it's got a textured side and then it's got a smooth side. It needs to be cleaned because I haven't washed it for a while, but
always use the smooth side.
Yeah, always use the smooth side, not the tempered. But when you lay it over your mat, you'll see I can still see the grids. I can still see all my lines. And that's why you need something that you can still see your ruler through on the other side. So knowing that we're cutting these to 15-inch pieces, it's easy because of these little rubber corners. I move my glass down to where I need to cut it on the 15. Know that 450 degrees will melt your cutting mat if you leave your wood burning tool just sitting there while you go do something else. So that's why the tempered glass is also really good. It prevents that from happening.
She's just going to cut one piece, so she's not going to really wear a mask or anything. So.
No, we're just going to do the one piece. So you're going to take your Deco Mesh, you're going to pull it to where you've got
your 15 inches.
Yeah, but you're going to look here and make sure that this is on the beginning inch line. Go all the way over to the 15, and if you've ever looked at Deco Mesh, you can see that it's basically a grid made up of a bunch of squares, and the foil is going in and out of each of those rows and columns. So we're going to start on the 15 inch, and what we're doing is going within that column. We're not following the 15-inch line all the way to the bottom. So this is what will give you a straight cut. Stay inside your column, and look, it goes right through the Deco Mesh, just like that. And it seals the ends.
Yep.
It's like melts the ends, so you're good to go. And you see, I can cut Deco Mesh faster with my wood burning tool than the people who do that. What is it? The sealer?
Sealer, yeah, yeah.
They're like the one thing that they're like pulling, and then you see them like can't quite do it, pressing. I'm like, I would have already cut 5 pieces of that. And this is exactly how easy it is. You just bring it over, follow your column, stay in your column, all the way down. And if it gets stuck, you just kind of give it a little nudge with the end of the wood burning tool.
Yep.
And that's it. So I'll probably end up making another one with the ones that are in there. And that's it. You just unplug it. Like I said, if you're going to be cutting a whole bunch, I would usually open this window, that door, and our front door, which creates a really good breezeway through here. And you just sit there and cut them, and that's how I use it to do the angels, so that the things don't fray. But unfortunately, if we're using the natural fibers, you're going to have to use something like an E6000 adhesive spray. Once you trim it up, once you've got it all assembled and you trim all the little pieces, you'll spray the cut edges with the E6000. It dries clear. It kind of helps prohibit those from continuing to fray.
Yep.
But that's pretty much it. So any other questions you guys have?
A couple gals said they're going to try that.
It's so easy. You're gonna, once you do it this way, you will never go back to wanting to do with a rotary cutter.
Yep.
Except with the jute. You have to do that. With all the natural stuff, it all has to be done rotary cutter.
Yep.
This also does the poly burlap, or poly, what is it? The plasticky Deco Mesh. Poly burlap mesh or something like that. It's the one that's, it feels like it's plastic coated, it's almost rubbery. You can use this, and that seals those edges as well.
Yep. I think the tip is called the chisel tip, and that's the one that we bought. It came with, so we just leave it on.
See? Exactly.
Yep.
So it looks like just like a little perfect knife blade, and you just follow it on down.
Yep.
Super, super simple. So
Bethany, yeah, she's made the Santa hat with witch hats.
we're gonna do those soon. So do you guys want to know what we're making next Friday? I'm super excited to show you. Private group already did it, but I'm going to show it to you guys. This is what we're making next Friday. We're making a reel. So if you've never seen these are pretty much like a really good seller because they're almost storm door friendly, because they only take about 5 to 6 pieces of Deco Mesh plus your bow and whatever you choose to elaborate or embellish it with. But we're doing rails next Friday at 5. So these came from Doors Wood Ideas. Right now she is so backlogged on orders that it's about a 30-day turnaround from the time you order them until the time you actually get them. But if you can wait that long, which means that this is almost end of September, which means end of October, order your Christmas stuff. Don't order any fall or Halloween. Probably won't make it in time. Unless it's for you and you want to make it for next year.
Beverly, you can go back and watch the earlier part of the video where she did the bow on the candy cane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's
super
simple. Yep.
Yeah. Any other questions? Private group, Sunday, what are we making? I just told you. Oh, the witch hat. The new Dollar Tree witch hat.
Yeah.
The bigger one. We're doing those. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can do that. And then Monday in the private group, we are doing primitive snowman. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So that kind of lets you know what's going on for the week. If you're interested in joining the private group and you want to join in our great creative community, just go to Kats Creations, the letter N, the word more.com, scroll all the way to the bottom. It'll give you a list of all the benefits. It'll give you a link to sign up for a recurring payment, which is $17 a month. You get access to my entire library. Not that many people that offer private groups give you access to the libraries beforehand, like everything that someone did last month. You get access to everything from 2015, all the business classes, Etsy classes, Pinterest, Instagram, marketing, anything. So that's pretty much about it.
Yep.
Except what I need to say.
Yep.
Okay, so let me know, and I'll see the public group next Friday at 5. My group, I'll see you Sunday at 5, where we're making the Dollar Tree witch hats.
Yep.
Right, the new ones. Okay.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.